used to turn this. You ever wondered how Daft Punk recreated this track into this track? This technique is called sampling, and today I'm gonna show you what is a sampler and how to build your own custom sounds with a built-in sampler in Logic. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pia from Music Production for Women. Today my voice is a bit boxy, but what is a sampler? A sample is a piece of audio, and a sampler is that device that turns this piece of audio into an actual playable instrument. Why do we need sampling? I'm gonna show you a few examples where the sampler is something so useful that once you start, you won't stop. We can also use a sampler for pitching a vocal, for having our own custom drum kit. Let me show you what I mean. For example, if we want to use a sampler on a vocal, do this, and this is the sound. For this project, it was a portfolio project. I only used custom sounds, which means that I created all of the sound that you're gonna hear in this video. Logic gives you three built-in sampler tools. We have the quick sampler, the sampler, and the Sample Alchemy. In this video, we're going to explore the quick sampler, which is the easiest approach to sampling. The first thing that we're going to do is open Logic Pro X, open an empty project, and go over, create a new track, MIDI, software, instrument. Here, as you can see, you will have the three kind of samplers. We're going to use quick sampler in mono. Right, now we have this track, and if we go over Q sampler here, this nice page will appear. Here we can load, record, or drag an audio file. I'm going to load this file here. Just open my sampler and drag. Now we have two options. We can use original tuning, loudness, looping, and length, or optimized tuning, loudness, search for loop points, and crop silence. For this sample, we could also go with original one, but since we have the optimized, why not? So let's just release it. And here is our sample. In this box here, as we can see, we have root key, which is C4, and this is like cents, okay? Logic automatically assigned the root key to C4. So if I go to my keyboard here and I play C4, I will have the original sound, this one. But if I play C3 or C2 or C1, very low. This is our sample, and we have here bars that can help us choose when the sample needs to start and when the sample needs to finish. So I can also change the starting point and ending point to this. And maybe add a nice fade out just by dragging this bar here. And I have my piano, my like synth piano. Let's go back to the original size, maybe like this. I don't want the tail to be that long. And I will show you the differences between classic, one shot, and slice. Let's start from one shot. As the word says, one shot means that when you press a key, the entire sound plays from start to finish. So this is great for kicks, snares, risers, impacts, effect sounds. You press the key once and the whole sample plays through. So if you want one key press to trigger the full sound, just use one shot. So let's try it. This just means that if I press here and I release my hand, the sound will continue playing. The classic mode, instead, is what you use when you want to play the sound up and down the keyboard at different pitches. So the difference here is that if I play the sound and I release, the sound will stop. Slice option, instead, is something that allows you not to pitch your sample, but to play different parts of it, assigning it to different notes. As you can see, this is very easy. Just click on the waveform and the notes will appear. So I know that I have C1 here. This is very cool. Logic looks at the waveform, detects transients, and chops the sound into smaller sections. A transient is basically the little peaks or attacks at the beginning of a sound. In this case, Logic didn't recognize the transients, but I applied them here. Let's explore the other sections. We have this playback, which can be forward or reverse. Let's try it out. This is reverse. So as you can see, we start from the end to the beginning of the track. So I'm gonna stick to classic mode to create a nice pad out of this sample. We also have loop, which can be no loop, forward, reverse, alternate, play to end on release. So this is like, it will forward will loop back in this direction, and the same things will apply to reverse, alternate. And that's basically it. Like if I want to create a pad that never stops, I can use this feature in alternate. You have so many opportunities to create your sound. Now we have to go to the fun part. I recorded my MIDI clip and now I'm gonna play with the filters. First thing first, we need to turn the filter on. A filter controls which frequencies you hear more or less of. And if the word of frequencies sound technical, just think of it as the brightness or darkness of the sound. So the filter changes the tone or color of the sound. If your sound feels too bright, too sharp, the filter can soften it and vice versa. The most common filter is the low pass. So here we have a few options with the decibels. I'm gonna stick with this low pass filter of 6 decibels. And the cutoff controls where the filter starts reducing the sound. You don't need to obsess over the technical side of it. Just remember a lower cutoff, darker sound, a higher cutoff, a brighter sound. Let's try. No sound. The reso stands for resonance. This boosts the frequencies right around the cutoff point and can make the filter sound more obvious, sharper, or more squishy. I love this. Then we have the drive, the envelope depth, and the key scale. The key scale is connected to the cutoff. I'm pretty okay with the filter like this. Let's go to the pitch. This is very useful whenever you have a sound that you want to change the original pitch. Just gonna use a glide here. Now we're going to move to the amp. The amp envelope is very interesting. Amp just stands for amplitude. One controls how the volume of the sound behaves over time. And you will often see this one, ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, and release. You already know these definitions, but you know, like a short attack and a short release is a tighter, punchier, more percussive sound. A high sustain is more stable. So let's try to play with this. And back to normal. This is just a pan. The polyphony is very interesting because you can choose to put the sound in mono. It's so nice. Or just 3. Or maybe 64. That's a cooler sound. That's perfect for our pad. Let's go to the LFO, which is one of the most terrifying things about the sampler. What is an LFO, right? An LFO stands for low frequency oscillator. But the easiest explanation is that an LFO adds automatic repeated movement. We have 2 LFOs. We can choose the rate and the waveform. The rate is how fast the movement happens. The amount or depth is how much movement happens. So rate is speed and amount is intensity. If the LFO is affecting the pitch, you get like a vibrato or whatever. So let's try. We're going to choose where the LFO is going to work. Since we didn't use the pitch that much, we will just tell the LFO, hey baby, go over the filter envelope, right? We can add like a target, and I will add the filter cutoff. You see, this thing moving is the LFO. Nice. Then I have another LFO that I can turn on and off. You see, like here means that it's working. This is not working, so there's no need to turn this on and off. And I can just use a square waveform, unipolar. And then we have the modulation matrix, which will just help you to decide to have more control over whatever you want. Another feature that I want to show you, if we open the quick sampler, we also have this section called recorder. Okay, so I'm going to choose the input. I'm just going to tell input 1, I think. Yeah. And I'm going to record a vocal. Okay. Whoa. All right. So now I'm going to, if I go over slice, Logic already divided the sample by transient. You can have a lot of fun and you can actually recreate something that sounds like this. If you have any questions, just leave a comment in the description box. I'm Pia from Music Production for Women. Thanks so much for staying until the end, and I hope this video helped you. Check our blog section, which is always updated, and can't wait to see you in the next video.